So, the most bullish indicator for Bitcoin investing. Wonder what it is. So everyone, welcome to the channel. If you are new, please do subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a like, and obviously comment. Nice to have you. 33,000 subscribers, thank you very much. Love you all. So, on the screen, you can probably see oil prices have returned to pre-pandemic highs in the hope of US stimulus. It's starting to get more and more apparent at what may be coming. And there's a lot of reasons why I'm talking about this, because I think history will repeat, even more so than last time. I think people are savvy to this world of cryptocurrency. So, very, very precise. We remember what happened with oil. It crashed last time. And then a lot of uncertainty came into the market regarding stock market, and ultimately then the dollar crashing, which we will talk about the dollar in a minute. But other things are happening, and this is obviously very, very important. Obviously, our favourite person, Mrs. Yellen, lovely, loves the crypto, doesn't she? We know. But she's stating that maybe people who earn $60,000 per year, which relatively good salary back in America, not so much. You wouldn't argue against this in terms of, you know, stating the obvious, but they could be getting a stimulus, whereas last time they didn't. You know, that's a different dynamic overall. When you think what happened last time, who was getting the paychecks, they've ramped it up a little bit, I think. Anyways, 1.9 trillion. So basically $1,400 checks technically going to be coming out, it appears. And with the hopium, with the markets reacting to that, it's probably decided anyways. It usually happens that way. So when you think last time how it all came about, it's kind of like, whoa, hello. But this time it looks like they are trying to put even more money into it. And you've obviously got this level here in terms of the plan is to approve the 1.9 trillion bill, essentially, to get the country back into full-time employment next year. That's going to be interesting. Whether that happens or not is another thing. But this stimulus check will help people. Obviously, people will benefit from it when they don't need to. But it gives you that element of surprise in terms of the dollar. What is that dollar chart going to do? Most likely get weaker, and it will probably strengthen the gold, other commodities, the stock market, and most importantly, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, now on the CME futures. So all of this, it's all, I think, ready to go. I personally think it is. But the fact that American workers who earn $60,000 per year will receive it, that's kind of, you know, we're not talking unemployed people here. We're talking workers. So that's important. Moving on. Final part of this, and we'll talk about dollar, and we'll talk about 7 reasons why. And it's an old article, but I think history will repeat here. European stocks pushing higher. Usually the case. So we're seeing a higher move in across the whole entire UK, the German markets, French, whatever, all doing plus points, right? Popping. This is because the stars are aligning with the US market, which could see positive repercussions for sentiment elsewhere. Now, when we start thinking positive sentiment, we think, where are people going to put the free money? Probably into certain industries, into certain things, to kind of balance the books and ultimately take advantage of what's been given to them from the government because it's free money. I think that is going to be the most common thing when we think what is happening in the market right now. Dogecoin mania. Polkadot all-time highs, Ethereum all-time highs, Bitcoin rampant. I'm going to put money into crypto because I can. I think that will be the mentality, and I will explain that a bit in a minute. But when we look at the dollar index now, my chart has changed. Let me know if you like it or not. This has been on a monster droppage, right? When we think where has things been, let's just go from this low to this high. We have been melting massively. You've already seen here, we've had a multiple levels of support. That this is the next one, right? We've had a flip, basically, and it's looking pretty damn interesting when you start considering this level here, 91.43, right? We've already went below it, we've popped, and we're rejected. If this stimulus goes live in the next coming weeks, woof, we're going to drop pretty big, you know, and that's going to be very, very important. If we start analysing this and keep it simple, a lot's happened in the last 2 years. We've had a massive monster run throughout the Trump administration, Obviously, COVID's kind of ruined it, but that is obviously due to stimulus, essentially, because it's obviously going to dilute the dollar. It's going to create other little elements of people going, I'm out, bye. Negative interest rates possibly could be coming, especially in the UK. That's going to be a big concern as well. So we've got to be careful. What we've got to think as well, where can it go? Well, there is extension levels all the way down to these levels. And they actually marry up with some very, very big levels from back in 2014, 2013 as well, which, let's be honest, will be quite interesting for the dollar. Seeing what actually happens there. When we consider the fact that if we melt as low as that, will we get a parabolic run in Bitcoin and probably the other cryptocurrencies? I think yes, because it's going to enable some things to kind of scratch at the surface and trying to pick up that scab and go, oh, hold on, there's problems with the financial authorities here. The regulations involved in finance, printing out money, increasing inflation at a higher rate, la, 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 la. Bitcoin. You know, that's what I think that could be happening. And I'm just going to put these levels on here, right? These are monster levels, by the way. This won't happen overnight, obviously, but food for thought here. Food for thought. Now, if we're talking analysis, 80 or 79, this has huge confluence with this level down here. Back in 2012, 2013, 2014, we could be on our way back down. We could be very, very well be on our way back down. So I want to keep this quite concise. That is the obvious levels. Obviously, weekly time frame looking quite interesting, but we have got this level here that if we do drop, we will probably be repeating to see this in terms of 88, then probably lower. So we're forming a downtrend. Boys and girls, we are forming an obvious downtrend. You can see how things are aligning here with this, but the fundamentals are key. Print off money, the dollar's going to get weaker, I'm afraid. It's just one of those things. So we may well be looking at this level first base, essentially. Keep it nice and neat and tidy. Yeah, so could be fun. But we're going to go on to an article from Forbes. Now, this is a contributor article, but what has been said in this article rings true, in my opinion. I think history will repeat with this as well. So, 7 reasons to consider investing your stimulus check into Bitcoin. This is where I think we will probably see that history repeat, especially if workers are going to get this money as well. Thinking of the future, there may well be a couple of grand going into a few pieces of bits and bobs. If you think about it, if a household has 2 workers, that could be interesting. It could be a different dynamic, and seeing where their income stacks and where they live, it's a big thing. But also you got to look at the likes of Voyager, Coinbase, Binance US, Gemini, Kraken. It has, over the last 3-4 months, got a little bit easier to invest in these US exchanges. That being said, will we have a bucket load of cash? We don't know. There's millions of people that are going to get a lot of free money. They're going to put it somewhere. So we've got, I mentioned it, inflation. The Federal Reserve balance sheet has increased, right? It's going to, them numbers are obviously old. We've had further stimulus checks and this one to come potentially. That could mean even more increased rate of inflation. Hedge against Wall Street. What's happened recently in Wall Street? GameStop, AMC, Reddit, Wall Street bets, and that has obviously increased things. Wall Street is experiencing an unprecedented and unexpected boom during a crisis. It's created some job losses in certain exchanges and brokers as well, i.e. Robin Hood. What's happened? Let's shut it off. Too much manipulation. We're losing. So it's created people to go over to crypto, essentially. Dogecoin, pump groups, boom, boom, boom. Could well happen again. Bitcoin provides a hedge against traditional markets. Price appreciation. Scarcity. The stock to flow ratio. Mining halvings. Store of value. It's the top performing asset for a reason. It may well continue. Value appreciation. Buy low, sell high. People may be looking at 30k Bitcoin as a potential level to get in. If it goes that low, people might be looking even lower for a potential wick down. But what happens every year? Them yearly lows always appear. There's only been 2 years in its history that it's actually formed a new low. It's been growing. Be interested to see what the low is for this year. It'll be very, very interesting. Institutional investors are buying. MicroStrategy, Paul Tudor Jones here. Grayscale are buying more than what is mined out. Well, if they're buying it, why aren't we? PayPal's now involved. Other companies are also buying at quite a big rate. You know, the Twitter founder is setting up nodes. All of this information's coming at us left, right, and centre. MicroStrategy held a investment day online. What, 20,000 people turned up or something ridiculous, or how many clients or whatever? It was ridiculous. They're all getting exposure to Bitcoin. So everyone else. Being your own bank. We're seeing problems in Nigeria. Nigeria are literally banning people from buying Bitcoin. That sort of, you know, obstruction, we could call it, from the government is going to make things a bit easier for us to kind of handle, in terms of just go to Bitcoin, use cryptocurrency, be your own bank, keep your own wealth. And if we think negative interest rates, increased taxes, all kinds of issues like that, well, if it's in cryptocurrency and it's an investment, well, you know, at least you got something. At least you got something there. As I mentioned before, store of value, Bitcoin, technically digital gold. And Bitcoin is becoming easier to use, and it is becoming easier to use. More people are accepting it. Not so much Bitcoin, but other cryptocurrencies essentially. People don't really want to spend their Bitcoin at the moment. But when you think traditional systems for getting in and getting out, especially in the UK, even in America now, it's getting a bit easier. It's good. It takes up to 5 to 7 minutes to withdraw, you know, cryptocurrency to cash into your bank if you need to spend it on something that you may require. However, that being said, there's multiple payment cards now, but when you think, where can the money go? Well, I personally think it's not going to stay in people's banks. Not everyone. Some people will be paying off bills, whatever, but when you think crisis, inflation, negative interest rates, cryptocurrency is the answer, and this is why we're here. So, in my opinion, I think this is a very, very strong indication of what could be coming in the next few months. Overall, I personally believe we're going to get a slow, sluggish run in Bitcoin as it cools off. Let altcoins thrive a bit. We're seeing it already. But that being said, if it consolidates and we get further interest, it's going to go one way. And it involves a rocket and it goes upwards. So it could be very, very interesting. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell button. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Ta-ta.